hi, I'm a lesbian, or at least I think I'm a lesbian. Yes, but I'm the biggest, let's be real. This is just to prove. Wipe your face. I wanna come on here and have a good time. Oh yeah. Oh, they saw my tum-tum! The moon landing didn't happen. Oh, the moon landing? That didn't happen. I promise it didn't. I would bet like all of my money. Oh, sorry, I've heard it. What?
Hey girls, how you doing? Amberlynn's ex-victim Casey did an interview with Mr. Snowflake, who is doing a documentary on Agor. I honestly encourage all of you to go and watch the full interview. It is really good, and you get to see just how evil Amberlynn is. And of course Amberlynn responded to this, but in the stupidest and most meaningless way.
How old were you in those videos?
I was 23 with that video. I was 23 and now I'm 31, so that was a while ago. When I seen my younger self in the video, because I don't go back and watch that video, I was very adamant of I released these 3 and then that was it. And rewatching it, I was like, there is so much pain in my eyes and so much hurt.
The Rain and Petals eavesdrop incident is the video that made a lot of us to be haters. Amberlynn especially made a video claiming that Casey S.A. her and she was his victim. After seeing this, Casey made a rebuttal video, and his story made so much more sense, and most people believed him over Amberlynn. And what he is saying is so true. Seeing the video back, you will see how sad and hurt he was by Amberlynn lying on him so blatantly.
And that's why I got mad when she's like, I didn't even mention who they were, but they found me. They found me and my family and my fiance and friends. They were just like, oh, like just distributing it. And that's another thing. I'm so scared to date because I don't want them to look at me and go, you're the one from that Amber drama.
Here he is talking about how the video affected his life, and how everyone in his life saw the video. And how he is still scared that when he is dating people would see it, and he has to explain everything.
Like when someone said, you know, would you ever forgive her? I tried to. I reached out in Olive Branch saying, hey, and I remember exactly what I said. I said we were kids when we were together, and we had no business being as serious as we were because we were kids. I was a kid. You know, yes, she was older than me, but she was still, you know, 18, 19, 20. You know, like we were young, buried a hatchet. Well, you know, I hope you're doing well. She told me about her YouTube, how she had 600 subscribers at the time. I was like, cool, you're doing good. I'm glad you're doing well. And then all those other messages came up. And then later on that year, she makes that video. And I'm like, why?
It is crazy how he was the younger one and the victim, but he was the one who reached out. But of course Amberlynn used that to make a video full of lies.
That if Amber affected my relationships, and I would say not just her. I was scared of being treated like she treated me, but the cycle kind of continued for a while because, again, I was still very young when we even broke up. Like, she was the only serious relationship. I was from 15 to 18. Going into other ones, was unfortunately mirroring that of being like having people take advantage of me or hitting on me or, you know, just being mean to me. And that's all I knew.
No one deserves to be in an abusive relationship, especially not a 15-year-old and the first relationship ever. How unfortunate that Amberlynn still doesn't understand how she ruined someone's life so early. But she is so quick to mention everyone who has ever ruined her.
Later that day when I was sat down and shown the video, and I was so mad. I was so mad and hurt. I had tears. I was destroyed. And I sat there like, what do I do? And they're like, make a rebuttal video. I said, but what is that going to do? And I mean, obviously it did a lot. I did not realize how much it did. And I did get I got video messages from her, but there was lots of them of her crying, begging me to take them down. And I'm like, no, like you did this. You did this. You think you can tell me to take this down after you did this? No, I'm not taking it down because you reap what you sow. You did this and I'm going to leave this up. And I will leave it up for years and years to come because I'm not going to get bullied off of taking down my truth.
How typical of Amberlynn to make a video and lie on someone, then send crying videos begging him to delete his video. Amberlynn only thinks of herself and she thinks the whole world revolves around her. She doesn't care about anyone else, and we can see it even now with her mom and how she is acting. And kudos to Casey for leaving the videos, because he was the reason why many people saw the true Amberlynn and how fake she is. And of course she exposed herself later by changing her story like 10 times.
And I hate that she lies. I do. And I'm going to be nice, you know, and like I told you last night, she was in school to be a social worker. And she was in school for a while to be a social worker. she was doing good. She was getting good grades. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to like degrade her on it because she was getting good grades and passing all her classes. She was doing so good. And when she went with Crystal, she did not continue her education. She was 8 months from graduating. She would have had her social worker degree. She would have, even if she decided to still continue YouTube.
Honestly, Casey is nicer than most of us, because if I went through what he went through with Amberlynn, I would have not one good thing to say about the beast. And he says that he wishes her the best multiple times. And Amberlynn is a bum, let's be honest. She only went to school because they told her to do so. The moment she had the chance to be a lazy blob, she took the advantage and never looked back.
And then when she got to the point of me making fun of me for having tape and everything it just...
I had an ex-girlfriend named Cassidy. She did not look like a girl. Like she taped on her boobs on purpose. So they'd always think that was a boy. So it was just really weird because I'm not into that.
They'd have to be like, I don't like him like that.
It broke my heart because she never said anything to my face when we were together. But to make fun of me behind my back and everything like that, it's like, okay.
And that's our very woke goal. Amberlynn is a weird kind of evil. This was when she was with Dusty and years after Casey, but she would still say these weird things, I'm assuming just so that the attention would be on her and she would have something to say.
When we first started dating, of course online, and the site was Moco Space, and I was 15, I just literally came out. I went on Moco Space and I was like, okay, you know, as a 15-year-old, I had no business being on there. When I was at my Nina's house and I was texting her, whatnot, she wanted a spicy picture. She was asking me about this for a couple weeks. And I was 15. Again, I was 15, 17. And I just kept telling her, I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable with that. You know, why do you want this? Like, I'm not comfortable. And she didn't want, like, front. She wanted, you know, like, that's what she wanted. She wanted the below the belt. And I was like, oh, well, no, I'm not comfortable. And I just kept saying, I'm not comfortable. But, you know, she said, you know, if you don't do that, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to break up with you. I don't want to lose the only person who's actually attracted to me. Yeah. And I did it.
Yeah.
The whole relationship was weird. Amberlynn was 17 dating a 15-year-old, and she was not a normal 17-year-old. She was a mentally ill, abusive person. Imagine a 17-year-old coercing a 15-year-old to send explicit photos. She is so disgusting, and she is the one who did all of this to Casey, but she had the audacity to turn it around and accuse him of SA and coercion.
This is why I wanted to do the interview, because this is everything else that I didn't get to say, that I've been holding on to, that I've been struggling with. I lost my virginity. There you go. That's a thing. I can say that's a first time. And first meeting, she seemed like she was legitimately who she said she was online. We stayed there all 3 days, came back, and she was going to stay till my birthday and then go back home. And that's in that month we discovered she's not going back home because they don't want her back home. So yeah, that is true. Yeah. She was kicked out.
So Amberlynn was supposed to only visit them for a couple of days, and she ended up staying for 2 years, almost because she could not get along with her grandmother, and we all know why. Another example of Amberlynn not caring about anyone but herself. She stayed with them and was a big-ass burden, pun intended, knowing that Casey's mother was a single mom working to provide.
And we were on food stamps. You know, she was getting child support for my dad, and, you know, she couldn't afford another person. She could not do it. She could not afford it. And yeah, I did fight for her to stay because, one, I was a teenager, you know, it would be cool to have my girlfriend stay. And then two, because I felt bad. I did not want her to get kicked out. She had nowhere to go. Even her, I don't even think her foster family would have allowed her back the year. I will say within the year, it got really bad. And because she was 18, you know, my mom's like, yeah, like she said, a job or going to school. And it was a fight for either one. It was a big fight because I was going to school and she was home all day and she wasn't cleaning or anything like that, like very rarely. And my mom was at work all day. My mom worked at the hospital as the janitor.
How can someone who grew up in foster care and had nothing be so entitled? It is crazy to go to a woman's house and not even clean or contribute anything.
She did get food stamps after a while. She did get food stamps. Spending it to help the house was very rare. I won't say she never did it, but it was very rare and sometimes it was a fight.
Lol, of course not. She was spending the food stamps to feed the binge monster. Of course she would not spend it on them.
And then sometimes like her foster mom would help her with paying her phone bill or send her like a gift card for Christmas to Torrid. What she says when she said she had nothing, she didn't have nothing. She had people who were trying to help her, but her foster parents did. They were pretty, you know, good as they were to her. I don't know the whole story. Like there's side A, there's side C, there's middle B. I will never know. But they did build her and her brother their own room. She wasn't happy with it. I'll tell you that right now. She wasn't happy with it. She said it was so small. And I get it. It was in the garage.
Oh my god, the more he talks, the more I dislike Amberlynn. I didn't know it was possible. She was complaining that her foster family built her a damn room. So ungrateful, and she is probably lying about having nothing. She is just ungrateful, that's all.
I don't know what started the argument. I just know that she had this look of anger in her eyes and grabbed my arm so tight, and she left nail marks. And I was like, what? Like, that was the first time she ever put her hands on me.
And she will say to this day that she has never put her hands on anyone. How convenient that she will forever mention what Dusty's mom did to her, but she will never mention all the awful things she did.
Oh God, I was having an anxiety attack. I called her and I was like, and I was crying. I was like, baby, I can't, I'm having anxiety. I don't know what to do. And she screamed at me over the phone. I don't even know what she said because the scream was so loud. She just screamed at me over the phone. And you could tell she was in the bathroom, and because it echoed, and it just like, you just hear her, like, and I was like, well, I'm sorry that you're mad. And then she screams, I don't care, hangs up. And then she texted me saying, you made me get upset at school. I'm yelling in the bathroom. People are looking at me. Didn't have to yell, but okay.
Poor Casey, of course she doesn't care about anyone but herself. But we are her karma. She could come here and cry about all her mental illness, and we all would say we don't care, just like how she did to the poor 16-year-old Casey. Then Casey talks about how Amberlynn didn't like him being around his friends, and she would pick fights all the time. Dusty also told us this. So by now we know she is an insecure beast.
And Alex was getting frustrated with it, and I can't blame her, because I would sit there distraught. I'm 16, I'm distraught because I'm getting threats of my, girlfriend saying, you're hanging out with her. If you don't come back home right now, when I want you to, in the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, you're going to, I'm going to leave you and you'll never see me again. And I'm going to break up with you because, you're not coming home. I'm like, wow. And she full-heartedly believed I was sleeping with Alex.
She has been doing this all her life. She wants to keep her girlfriends away from anyone they know because she doesn't want them to have anyone just like herself.
Because she tried to add Alex on Facebook before the whole video came out. And Alex messaged me saying, why is Amber trying to add me? I hate her. She does. She hates her. She hates her. She hates her. And when I confronted her, when she tried to add Alex that time, and I confronted her saying, why are you trying to add Alex? You hated her. I never hated her. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You said that I was sleeping with her. You were convinced that I was cheating on you with her. No, I wasn't. I never said that. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Everyone remembers this. Alex remembers this. My friend Cheyenne and CJ remember this. My mom remembers this. No, I never said that. I never said that.
A typical narcissist gaslighting everyone. She did the same with Dusty, where she would say that the car incident never happened when Dusty swears it happened. In the messages, Casey tells her that her and Alex didn't like each other, but she changes the subject and says she is mature and she doesn't hold grudges. She is the same person, she still uses these same words. Then Casey proceeded to tell her why she is mentioning this, and all the beast answered was lol, disgusting pig.
Honestly, because when it came to that open relationship thing, she did not like any girls wanting to be around me. She wanted it on her end, but she didn't want it on my end.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, and then the way I work is like, fair is fair. Okay, then. And she's like, well, why? Why you want to hang out with her? Why? Why? I'm like, well, you're doing this with Crystal. Well, Crystal's not here. So she wanted it to be, she could do whatever she wants, but the person she was with cannot.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about that too, that I don't even think Crystal knows. The night she was intimate with Crystal, hours before she was intimate with me. And when I learned that they broke up, I was sad for her. I was sad for Amber because she seemed like she really was head over ears in love with her, and I felt bad. It's like, oh, well, I'm sorry. And she said that Crystal wanted to try to be with the guy, and that's why. I don't know if that's true. That's what I was told. And I told her, I just hope you don't treat Crystal, or do anything like that you did to me. And then she did admit that she's hit her before. She said she hit her once. Do I believe it was once? No.
Oh look, Victimlyn hit 2 of her girlfriends, and she is admitting it to other people. And she was living with Crystal, so the audacity of the beast to hit her while she is under her roof is something else.
I don't hate them. I don't hate you, Destiny. I don't hate you, Becky. I don't hate you, Crystal. I just wish you guys find happiness, and happiness away from whatever she put you through. Becky, I'm so sorry she put you through all that, especially with your mom. I'm so sorry. I can't imagine someone with a heart and a soul keeping someone from seeing their mother who's passing on. To sit in a car and do stuff on their phone while your partner is having to pick out a headstone for their deceased mother that you wouldn't let them see is disgusting.
It seems like Becky got it worse. Casey and Dusty both said that they feel sorry for Becky and what she went through, and even the Beast said that 2018 to 2019 was her worst year, so poor Becky went through it.
So tell me, how come the guys who are against gay marriage are the guys who watch lesbian porn and get turned on by it? My mother-in-law essentially is like not here anymore, and it hurts.
When I heard that happened, I can never forgive Amber for anything, not even for my stuff, for anything she's done to people. There is no forgiveness. There is just, how can you be this person?
Yes, she did that. I don't think Amberlynn ever cared about anyone in her life. And she can say whatever she wants and try to convince us that she has changed. But she is doing these things privately now.
Yeah, I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression, well, severe anxiety and depression. And she started to have that after me. And it was like, and she's seen the medication I was on, but then suddenly she was also having anxiety and stuff like that. And I don't know when she officially got diagnosed, but it wasn't with me.
When she was with you, did she have any other disorders?
Cellulitis and something else that's very personal.
And in Amberlynn fashion, she didn't take Casey's personality, she took his diagnosis and his coming out story.
Once that happened, I will say it was probably a couple weeks between, and then it was just full blown. Like I said, I would go to school, I would have like green and purple bruises on my arms where her fingers were grabbing me and stuff like that. I was like, oh, it was a bike accident. It was a bike accident. But you could tell they were fingerprints. You could tell.
Yeah.
You know, it was, you know, she would hit me, you know, like I said in that video, like clearly my mom and Dave were not there. Again, I don't remember the arguments, and I know it's probably something over something dumb, but she just started pap, 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 just like, and I'm just like, when you're 15, you don't know anything. You don't know the consequences of a lot of things that come. You are a child and you're just developing, and you should never be in a situation like that.
Again, I can't imagine dealing with someone like the Beast and her hitting him while staying at his house. But don't worry, Casey, we will not let her rest.
I'm good. Math is hard, but I'm good at history. I'm good at history, language arts, whatnot. And she was struggling, and I'm like, let me help you. Let me help you with this. Let me help you with this. And she was just like, you're in high school, I'm in college. You know, it's different. You know, degrading me. I'm in high school. She's in college, so obviously I can't help. And I'm like, okay. And I just sat back down and started drawing again. Like, all right, I'm not going to, that's how you're going to be. That's how you're going to be. I started drawing. And she said something, and I retorted in some way. No, I think she said, you know, I need help. I'm like, well, I'm in high school. I can't help you. Because I was mad. And she gets her pencil and just rams a line through my paint, through my drawing. A dark just, and I sat there and I looked at it. And I was in shock because my prized possessions has always been my art.
That is literally a toddler behavior right there. And the worst part is, she is 33, and she is still like this. We have seen her argue like a child with Dusty and even Becky.
And she did the same thing with when I would roleplay. You know, I roleplayed online, and she saw, you know, stories back and forth, and she saw that the story was, I didn't know she was staring at me, like over my shoulder, looking at me type. And she saw that the story was getting a little spicy, and she grabbed my phone out of my hand and chucked it against the wall, and it, psh.
What did she apologize? What did she do after that?
You know, I don't like that stuff.
And the bitch said she has never been violent with anyone. Now we know for sure she threw that drink at Dusty and was preventing her to leave and see her mother.
You know, there was a time where I got money for Christmas. My nana would send me money for Christmas or my birthday, and I went and I was like, ooh, Black Friday, you know, because I wanted 2 video games. I had a DS and a PSP. And, you know, we're in line and it's on the, you know, we're waiting, and she's like, and she's still mad. I said, what's wrong? She's like, well, I think it's selfish that you're getting 2 games and I'm not getting anything. But it's my birthday money. And then right when we were right there in front of the cashier, she goes, if you get both those games and you don't just get one, I'm going to be really mad at you. And he walks out. And I put one of the games back and I only got one. I got Crisis Core.
Oh.
And I walked out so defeated.
Again, toddler behavior. Who does this? Getting mad that someone is getting a birthday gift for themselves is another level of narcissism.
She wasn't awful every day, but, you know, the days of her being okay and not awful were becoming too few and far in between. The story where she says that, you know, she wasn't mad at me for being trans, she was. Because the way I came out to 3 people this way. I watched the movie Boys Don't Cry when I was 12. We watched it and she's like, oh my God, this is really good. And I said, I am the main character. I feel what the main character feels. I don't want to be a girl. I want to be a boy. And she goes, well, I'm not going to date a boy. I like dating a girl. And I was like, okay. And I said, and she was like upset about it. And when I told her, I said, well, when I have kids, you know, I don't want to be called mom. I don't want to be called mama. I want to be called papa. I've always wanted that. She looks at me and she goes, "You'll never be a father."
I mean, look at her now. She will never be a mother and she will probably die alone, miserable and obese. Nobody wants to be with her, and we might see her mother and her family do the same and leave her alone too.
I know it seems like she's gotten away with it, but she's got the most miserable life I've ever seen. So I don't know if that gives you comfort, but it gives me a bit. If you could say one thing to Amber's future partners, what would it be?
Don't do it.
Okay, that's fair.
Don't do it. Watch these videos. Please be careful. I don't want to add another damaged ex to the list. You don't deserve that at all. At all.
Unfortunately, there's still people who watch her and still think she is the victim, so there will be other goals, and she will continue to do her harm until she is gone, because I don't see her changing at all.
These allegations, and I do want to say, these allegations, they're not light allegations. They're not something to be taken lightly. They're not something you just throw out like she did. This happened almost 10 years ago. I was 23 when I uploaded that. I am 31 now. It's 2 years shy of 10 years since that incident, and it still haunts me. This is a lifelong repercussion of what she did, and she's not suffering for it. She doesn't care. I'm the one having to suffer for it. I'm the one who has to explain myself to whoever I date. I'm the one who has to, if someone finds a video, I'm the one who has to sit there and go through the whole mess and the whole story and the whole trauma and everything again.
She is suffering just by existing in that sick body, and to top that off, she has no one and nothing to show for. So the life she has now is her karma for all she has done.
Let's go back.